Good morning, class 7. Today is the 27th of September and very soon Durga Puja is coming and Puja holidays are coming. So lots of things to look forward to. But before I proceed, there are a few things that I would like to say. Firstly, next week, not this week, next week, there will be no live class of history for you all. Means I am going somewhere for which I will not be here and I will not be taking the live classes. What I will do is that you are learning fundamental rights and directive principles. So on Friday, this Friday, I'll take a 1 hour class. Okay, I'll teach you extra. I'll take a little extra time and I'll take a 1 hour class. And after that class, for Monday, I'll share with you all an open book marked classwork paper. Okay, everybody will solve that paper on Monday and send it to me in my email ID on Monday. Am I clear? Very good. Yes, and Friday, it's your last day before the holidays. So I'll not give a lot of work. What I'll do is that I'll set some, some interesting video links, maybe on the Mughals, as well as on Constitution and all. I'll share with you all. You all can go through that. You all can take your class notes and you can tell me later on what did you learn from them when we start classes after the vacation. So I will send you your paper. It will be an open book marked classwork. I'll send it to you maybe on Friday itself. Okay, so I'll send it to you, but do it on Monday and try to frame your own answers. I'll see how you are framing, how you write the answers. I may give some situations and tell you, to explain. So I'll see how you are framing your answers. It will be open book. Yes, Nilesh?
Ma'am, do we do the...
What? You are muted.
Oh, sorry. Do we do the math class work on this Friday, means coming Friday?
I will take 1 hour class this Friday, coming Friday. This week, today and Friday, both days classes. I'll tell you the date, 1 minute. So you are going to have class on 1st of October. 1st of October, 1 hour class. Okay, I'll send you the time when I will start the class. I'll mail it to you. And 4th and 8th. 4th and 8th, these 2 days, you will not have live class. 4th October and 8th October. All right. Now on 4th October, what I'll do is that I'll send a paper which will be an open book marked classwork. So I'll give you, now one thing I can say is that if you are writing examples which are not in the book or you think you are confident with, so you have understood the points, I am okay with that. So I'll give you a written work. I'll send a written work to you for 4th of October. Okay. You will do that written work and you will submit it to me during class time. You will do it and your class starts from 9:10. So you can submit it to me within 12. Okay. All of you will submit it to me. And 8th, I will send some video links. If possible, maybe I'll make a short teaching video and also share with you. You can just go through them, take down some notes, but live class will not take place. So after this Friday, I'll be meeting you live after the pujas. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yes. It's an open book test. Yes, it's an open book test. I will send the paper. You can take help from your book and write down the answers. I will keep combined constitution and fundamental rights and directive principles. I can give questions from both the places. All right. So it's a combined civics test. It's going to be on civics and you are going to revise civics accordingly. Read the chapters, at least read the chapters, both of them. Now, last day, what happened? Yes, we discussed what are fundamental rights. I can hear you all very faintly. I don't know why. I'll maybe later on I'll use a headphone. So we
are not talking at all.
Some of you, I know, no. Even when some of you are speaking, it's very faint, and there is so much of noise of construction going on outside. That is even more disturbing. Anyway, so
Ma'am,
last,
no problem, no problem.
I hope you all can hear me clearly. So last,
Yes, ma'am. We are using hand.
thank you. We discussed the topic, that is, we discussed, what are the different types of fundamental rights. Just a minute. So we discussed what. So after this, what happened was we will be going on to each right. Sorry, there was the Mashis who have come to ask whether to keep water or not. So I was just looking at them. Now, right to equality, the first fundamental right. So
Yes.
we have learned this. Where is the word equality mentioned in our preamble? In our constitution?
Yes, ma'am.
The preamble, right? The one of the
Yes, ma'am.
ideals of the preamble was to maintain equality. So do you know that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was the father, who is known as the father of the Indian Constitution, he was not from an upper caste. Do you know that?
He was a Dalit.
From a Mahar Dalit caste. Mahar Dalit
Dalit
caste.
caste.
His name was changed.
He was born in M house.
Ma'am, ma'am, his name was changed from
Yes.
Bhimrao
True.
Ramji Sakpal to Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar.
Okay. Yes.
He stood
Ma'am,
outside the
Sakpal
classes
to Ambedkar.
and
All of you are talking together. I understand. Yes. Tell one by one. Yes, Ishan.
ma'am, he means that he stood outside the classes and then he studied. Means
He
was
was
allowed
not
to enter the class.
absolutely. Yes, Soham, what were you
He
saying?
got war.
So, ma'am, I was saying that Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar's name was not actually Ambedkar. His name was Sakpal. Bhimrao Ramji Sakpal.
Yes,
Ma'am.
yes. In fact, actually, they used to take the names of their villages. So it was Amba Badekar. Later on, he got the surname from one of his teachers, school teachers who used to love him a lot and used to, he knew as a teacher. See, sometimes some teachers play such a great role in your life that his teacher was very, he could see that this child was there to shine. There is some potential in him. So he was from an upper caste so that he could, Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, he could study. So that he is allowed to study, he gave him his own surname and registered his name in the school diary. So that there is no, he's not told to stop studying and need to work and all those things are not done. Yes, Aryaman, what were you saying?
That is child labor, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Not studying and working.
Absolutely.
Child labor.
ma'am, after studying, he once went to New York. And there he was, but there was no untouchability, so he was surprised.
Very true. When he went abroad, he realized that there is nothing called a caste distinction, upper caste, lower caste, no untouchability. And India at one point of time, you will see certain things that, when divisions are created in society, first the division of the caste system and the starting was not with a bad thought. The thought behind starting this was something very, very normal. The fact being, let the occupations, let work be divided. One person cannot do everything, but if everybody has something different to do, then all the works are done, as well as everybody has a job. So there is no tough competition. There is no, fighting for work. So everybody has some work to do, and every work is getting done. The society remains in a balance. That was the main thought behind it. Now things became, when later Vedic age and later on the society progressed, what happened was this division became ladder-like. Now people realized that if I am from the upper caste, it is giving me some kind of power. Now things were like to hold on to that power to enjoy that position, that I am in an authoritative position. I can dictate others that, you have to do this. I can make others work for me. I can make others listen to me. When such kind of thoughts happen, then is when a society gets corrupt. Then it's no more with a good thought that this division is there. Now the division is on the basis of power. That, I am from an upper caste, so I have more power. I can make others work for me. And it went to such a level that it created, the lower caste at point of time were treated as untouchables. Some were also, there was a belief that if somebody steps on a shadow of a person belonging to a lower caste, the shadow, imagine, then also something bad will happen to you. Or if the shadow of such kind of a people falls on you or your house, it will bring ill omen. Imagine such kind of superstition that has got into society and what it was doing, the kind of harm it was doing. So,
ma'am, ill omens. One of them is death omen.
Death omen. Okay, I can say this much, that it is going to bring ill fate. So, they couldn't touch anything. But these people were the one who were doing all the small household works for the upper caste people, like cleaning their homes, cleaning their, cleaning the system. So sanitation and everything, all these works, the society couldn't run without these people. Okay, but still you will see that they were treated in such a bad way. I don't know if any one of you interested in dance and music. Have you heard of a dance drama by Rabindranath Tagore called Chondalika?
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Not heard.
I think so. Ma'am, I think
Chondalika is a
so.
very famous dance drama.
I think so.
Okay,
Yes,
you think so? It was written by Rabindranath Tagore, and
Yes,
it
ma'am.
has, it's a dance drama. If anybody is interested in dancing, so many people do it on Rabindra Jayanti, and it, Chandals were the people who used to burn the dead bodies. Their work was nothing but burning the dead bodies, and it showed that, there was a Chandal had a little girl. So the girl was very much influenced, the girl wanted to mix in society, make friends, but nobody wanted to go near her. Nobody wanted to, the story of Rabindranath Tagore that he wrote, that nobody wanted to be anywhere near that girl. So it starts like there is a person coming to sell bangles, and he's calling every woman of every household. So everyone is running out to buy bangles. But the moment this girl comes, the daughter of the Chandal, then everybody runs away and says that, oh my God, so see this girl, let us go away, let us not mix with her. Then one day, a sadhu, a Buddhist sadhu comes and says that I'm very thirsty, please someone give me water. And nobody was there but this girl, and the sadhu asked her that, will you give me water? So she said that, don't drink water from my hand, nobody comes near me. So he said that, it's you are also a human, I am also a human. You giving me water will not do any harm to me but save my life. So it's a dance drama of Rabindranath Tagore. It's very famous. Anyway, from all the stories that we discussed till now, it's all based on the fact that when India became independent, we chose to follow right to equality. No
Yes, ma'am.
discrimination on the basis of gender, on the basis of caste, on the basis of religion. Nothing will be done. So in case of jobs, in case of studying, in case of buying a house, whoever, earns money in a, what should I say, in a ethical way. Ethical way means without doing illegal things. Whoever buys things without being, applying illegal means, or if you are earning, so, you can buy property anywhere. You can apply for any job based on your merit, and everyone can try for any job they want. Everyone is equal in front of the law. And very, very important, very, very important is that the law is same for all. Right to equality also says that the law is equal for all. Rich, poor, girl, boy, or, Hindu, Christian, Muslim, Jain, Buddhist, or upper caste, Brahmin, Shudra, such things will not be there for law. The law is same for all. Whatever, for each mistake, there is a law that has been there. And there is background noise. Yes. So that is something very, very important. And untouchability was declared illegal. The practice of untouchability was absolutely illegal. Okay. Now comes the next thing, that is, as I said, the law is equal for all, and whoever breaks the law, the punishment is also equal for the same person. So it does not matter, as I said, whether you are, a big film actor or a simple, shop owner or a simple village person. If you have done the same mistake, the law is going to give you the same kind of punishment. Next comes the right to freedom, because to enjoy, what did we discuss in the first place? That fundamental rights ensures what? It ensures the well-being of the people. Remember, we were discussing this, that fundamental rights ensures the well-being of the people, right? So a person will be happy when some basic freedoms are given to that person. Now, our country also gives us certain freedoms. What are these freedoms? Like, there is freedom of speech, freedom to express ourselves without fear. That is being said, yes, you can say what you want to without, having any kind of fear. You are free to keep your point of view in any discussion in our country. Then it says that you are free to organize a peaceful gathering without violence. Of course, a peaceful, calm gathering, if you organize, you are allowed to do so in our country. Of course, you can do so. Like, you can have maybe a school meeting, or in schools, you can have children coming for a, school event, a gathering. You are creating a gathering, you can do so in a peaceful way in our country, definitely. You can travel within the country as per your wish. If you are an Indian citizen and you want to go somewhere, you want to travel to some place, that also you can do freely in our country, as long as it is in a proper way, as long you are doing it in a proper way. Next is, of course, you can buy a property, you can buy, a house, or you can buy a piece of land and make a house or something, as long within the country, as long as you are doing it in a proper legal way. Absolutely. And definitely you can choose your own profession. You are free to choose any occupation when you grow up, as per your merit, as per your you can say aptitude, what you want to become, qualification, way you are doing good. So in that way, clear? Yes, everyone, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So,
According to qualification, we will get the job.
based on the qualification, you will get the job. Absolutely. What you want to do, what you want to study, based on that, you are going to get the job.
Yeah.
Now, but right to freedom is there. Of course, there is freedom. But right to freedom is not absolute. If I tell you that right to freedom is not absolute, because under right to freedom, there are several other rights, just as I discussed, like right to speech or right to expression, right to freedom of expression. What we feel, we can express ourselves. Right to move around freely anywhere within our country. Right to choose our own profession. Right to organize peaceful gatherings. But all these rights that comes under right to freedom, they are not absolute.
Yes, ma'am.
There is some limitation.
This right doesn't happen sometime, ma'am.
Ah, yes. See, there is a thin line. And what is this thin line deciding? This thin line is deciding that you are enjoying your freedom, right? But in a way to enjoy your freedom, you are not causing any harm to the society at large, or you are not doing anything wrong in order to enjoy your freedom. Okay, like in school, definitely you have freedom of speech. Suppose in a class discussion, you have freedom of speech. But if somebody starts abusing someone else while the class is going on, what are you doing?
We are breaking the freedom of speech.
You are misusing your freedom. The word here should be misuse.
Misusing.
You are misusing your freedom. You are,
Yes, ma'am.
to express yourself, you are harming the peace of the class, or you are harming the peace of the gathering. Now, as it says, you can organize peaceful gatherings, but in a gathering, if people gathers with, sticks and guns and all these things and tries to threaten each other that, oh, there are two groups and they are threatening each other, do you think the police will intervene, or the police should stay back in such a case? Then okay, they can gather. The police will have to intervene. Otherwise, the well-being of the society at large will be at stake. The people of the society will be under threat. There will be severe threat on the people of the society. So, in this case, you see what is happening is, there is a thin line. You are going to enjoy your freedoms. Nobody is saying that you cannot enjoy your freedom. But to enjoy your freedom, you are not supposed to cross that thin line and you try to take away the freedom of others or harm the society. Another example is, you are free to choose any land within this country, buy a property and build your own house, or buy a flat, and you can do that. It becomes your flat. You have to pay the money to the builder and you legally get all the papers. Absolutely. But suppose somebody says, oh, I like maybe Kavya's house. I like Kavya's house. Now I'm going to go to her house and make it my house. I like this property only. Is that right or is that wrong?
It is wrong.
It is wrong. Now, if somebody says, I want to take Shaurya's house. Shaurya's house is very beautiful. It's bigger than mine. From today, this is my house. It is wrong. You cannot do that.
Absolutely wrong.
It is absolutely wrong. So,
Wonderfully wrong.
this is the main thing. There is a thin line. You can buy property and you can make your own house, but that shouldn't belong to someone else. Or of course, now you can go into negotiation. I can negotiate with Kavya that, do you want to sell your house? If she is willing to, that okay, I can get a new house. If you want to buy, I am ready to sell. So if the buyer and the seller, they both agree and they come to a conclusion that, okay, we both are okay with this, that is fine. And we do some documentation. I pay money to, you for buying the house, and legally and properly I get the house. That is absolutely all right. But by force, and just because you want it and by force, you want to shut people away. This is...
No, ma'am, it's not okay.
That is when you... Tell.
May I say an example?
Yes.
Means, if it is a family, a huge family, like if someone's grandmother is owning the house, has the ownership, so what the others will do that means they will wait when she will die and will be excited.
That depends on property law. Okay, yes, that but the house is divided. Household is then divided in a proper way, that you have this much part, you have this much part. True. Earlier, with many children, these problems were there. But you
In a lot
see,
of movies, you will see this, that people
now
are
coming to
threatening.
the main concluding line of this, 1 minute. Okay, coming to the main, see, the citizens has freedom, but there has to be some restrictions on this freedom. So so it is said that the right to freedom is not absolute. This means on right to freedom also there are some restrictions, so that things doesn't go out of hand, and the well-being of the society in general, of the nation, and the ideals of the preamble, these are not put into any kind of questions. These are upheld. So there shouldn't be any kind of violence, any kind of hatred caused due to misuse of your rights. The word you can write down is there shouldn't be, it's not absolute. On top, if you write it down in your book also, that people shouldn't misuse. Because with fundamental rights, as you have read in class 5, there are some fundamental duties as a citizen as well. Next comes right. Till now, the two that you have read is right to. Now is right against exploitation. And what kind of exploitation am I talking about? It can be any kind of exploitation that is once again taking away the well-being of the people. Like child labor. If somebody is forcing you to work below the age of 14 or up to the age of 14, that's called child labor. Because now the government of India has said till 14 years of age, 14 years is when you appear for your class 10 exam, 10th board exam. Till class 10, every child of India should get education. This is something that has come out as right to education. Okay, now this is something that you will be learning at the end. See, right to education. Every child from 6 to 14 years, 6 is class 1 and 14 is class 10. So 1 to 10, class 1 to 10, minimum till 10th
Yes, ma'am.
board, basic education is, should be given to all children, for which the government is opening up many government schools. Government schools are being opened. So now this is right to education. Now, if this right is taken away from you, then there is another right that protects you from that exploitation. Any child can go and complain to the police or the authorities if they are made to work forcefully. In the same way, sometimes, right to exploitation is also applicable for if people are forced to work in unhygienic, dangerous conditions. Suppose there is a factory where there should be proper safety guidelines are there. There should be fire extinguishers, fire exits, everything should be there in the factory.
Ma'am, what
the
about
factory
shoemaking?
What?
Ma'am, sometimes when you sometimes in heating and other conditions, the temperature reaches as high as 40 degrees
See, it
Celsius.
has to be a balance. Every factory for producing something needs certain conditions, but then there has to be safety measures taken in that factory. Like there should be fire exits in every place. There should be proper fire exits. There should be a medical unit so that if somebody is harmed, the proper care is taken. You should ensure that the machines do not cause too much of pollution so that the people working there fall sick. But if somebody is made to work under unhygienic conditions, okay, that is wrong. You can go and complain against the factory owner. Have you heard that many times? Another thing, when you are not given proper pay, proper salary for your work, or there is discrimination in salary structure between people, that it's not, equality is not maintained. Suppose, let's take, there are two teachers in your school, one a male teacher, one a female teacher. Okay, now both of us teach you something or the other. I teach, let's take one, I teach history and another person teaches you maybe English, something like this. But if there is discrimination done on the basis of salary, and because he is a male, he is given more and you are a female, you are given less, do you think, is it exploitation or is it not exploitation?
Exploitation.
Because we, of course, now if the salary is different on this basis that maybe he is working for 8 hours, maybe the girl is working for maybe 6 hours, 2 hours less, maybe somebody is doing part-time, somebody is doing full-time, that is a different thing. Then you can give that person more and give the other person less. But just because you are a male and the other person is a female, you cannot discriminate. You can, or if a person is doing at least, now the law is 8 hours of work. Every company has the right to make employees work for 8 hours. So for 8 hours, what kind of job they are doing and what is happening. So accordingly, the pay scale is given to the people. Salaries are paid. If you are giving very low salaries for 8 to 10 hours job, then also you are exploiting the labor. In these cases, you have every right to go to the police and file a case, or go to the court and file a complaint against the company or the people. Have you heard companies having trade unions? Very commonly we see.
Yes.
Have you heard the word trade union? So what is that? This is these trade unions and all. What they do is that they try to put forward the workers' problems and what the workers are facing and all these things, so that the workers are not exploited. They are not exploited and they are paid properly. They can, especially people who are doing manual labor in many places, it's like working in mines and all, they are many times exploited for maybe for one day they are given only 50 rupees or 100 rupees and they work for such a long hour. Such things shouldn't take place. Okay, of course, children, I told you, next is right to freedom of...
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, I want to say something, ma'am. Ma'am, it is written that child is meant to learn, not to earn. So, ma'am, what is meant by not to earn, ma'am?
Not to
that
earn means,
image, ma'am.
as a child, you cannot do child labor. Children, I just told you that right to
As a child,
education,
you can't learn. You can't
RTE,
learn.
right to education, is now working. So in right to education, what do we see? There it says that up to 14 years, every child should learn. They first need to learn, get educated. And why is education not important? Education is important, children, so that you are aware. When you grow up, you are aware when somebody is trying to exploit you. You are aware about your rights. You are aware about the laws of the country. You are aware about, the working conditions. Nobody is there. Anybody can come. Otherwise, tell you anything is, they can make a fool of you. If you are not aware about the basic things, they can exploit you. That is what is happening in many times with the farmers. Why many farmers are now rising in protest? Why? What has happened to them? Many farmers have not got education. They have been working in the fields from a very early age. Now what has happened is, the crops, they are selling it at a very small price to the business people. And the business people are selling those crops at double the price in the market to the common people. So the farmers are getting a little share of the very little share of the money, while the business people who are making business out of it, they are earning a lot of profit. Why? Because they were not aware of what is the market rate, what is the prices going on in the market. This awareness is not there. That is the main problem. Now, another thing is right to freedom of religion. Right to freedom is itself giving a lot of rights to the common citizens. Earlier, right to freedom of religion was a right under, right to freedom. But this became a separate fundamental right. This got separated and became an individual fundamental right because it's a very important issue in India. India has seen many riots in the past, and these riots are not something that we want anymore in our country. We want to end these riots. Hence, the right to freedom of religion says any person is allowed to practice, profess any religion of their choice. Practice and profess means they can teach also, they can do the rituals, the rules, rituals that their religion says, as long as it does not harm the well-being of the any other community. As long as it does not harm the well-being of any other community, you can celebrate the festivals of your religion, you can practice, you can do all the rituals, it's all right. Like any Muslim is allowed to read namaz, while the Hindus are allowed to do aarti in the temple every day. As long as you are not hurting or harming any other person in any other way. So that is all. That is very, very important. And there shouldn't be any more riots in India. India has seen some violent riots in the past, and those days have been terrible. The common people has suffered in what not way, especially starting from partition. Even now there are problems, but still we are trying